A red light.
Entonces, like that, it's off.
Yeah.
¿En Arizona? Ok. Cuando está en rojo, está prendido.
Okay, we're going to go ahead. Can we get Célia on stage? Célia and Raoni? Welcome. Whew. Okay. Thank you. Welcome, 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 welcome. So welcome, everyone, and thank you for attending our press conference, Indigenous Women from the Amazon and the Calls for Urgent Action. My name is Osprey Orielle, and I'm the Executive Director of the Women's Earth and Climate Action Network, WECAN, and we work with women from different regions of the world on the front lines of the climate crisis. And one of the key focuses of our WECAN delegation at the COP28 is calling urgent attention to the Amazon rainforest that is in dire crisis, and to show our solidarity with Indigenous women leaders who are fighting to protect and defend the Amazon and their communities. And we are here with such amazing leaders from the Amazon. We're really honored to have you with us. We are going to be hearing first from Célia Xakriabá. She is the member of the Chamber of Deputies from the Minas Gerais in Brazil. And then we will be hearing from Fanny Castro, who is the General Coordinator of the coordinating body of Indigenous organizations of the Amazon Basin, COICA, from Colombia. And then we will be hearing from Elaine Shawit. She is the President of the Regional Coordinating Committee of Indigenous Peoples of San Lorenzo from Peru. So you can see these are women from across the Amazon who've traveled a great distance to be here to have their voices heard. And throughout the Amazon region, Indigenous peoples are under increasing attack, with government leaders engaged in devastating assaults on social and environmental protections and direct attacks on Indigenous peoples. And as threats increase, women land defenders are harmed first and worse due to oppressive patriarchal and social constructs. And we were just talking about this outside before the press conference. This is a critical time to stand with courageous Indigenous women leaders, such as those sitting here with us, fighting every single day to protect Indigenous rights, the Amazon, the climate, and in fact for their very lives. We know there is no solution to lessening the devastating impacts of the climate crisis without forests. And study after study shows us that Indigenous peoples are the very best custodians of forests that they have maintained for millennia in their territories. Due to hundreds of years of oppressive colonization and current neoliberal economic systems, we see massive forest destruction, from fossil fuel and mining extraction to purposeful fires lit with impunity, and the agro-business development. And all of these dangerous developments are driving the climate crisis. So we, as the international community, must stand with Indigenous peoples in solidarity and resistance to demand that governments and corporations respect fundamental human rights standards and protect the Amazon's ecological integrity. We are here to say loud and clear, not one more drop of Indigenous blood, and that the Amazon is not for sale. We do not want carbon offsets or the commodification of the Amazon or any forests. We do not accept market mechanisms in Article 6 of the Rulebook of the Paris Climate Agreement that further harms Indigenous peoples, their rights and territories. And it's far past time for governments to listen to Indigenous women's leadership and to respect their deep knowledge and their rights that are guiding their communities and the forests and lands for thousands of years. Specifically, at WECAN, we're also working to directly work on the ground with Indigenous women in the Amazon and their agendas and their powerful leadership for the rest of the world. And they've come here to COP28, and I'm so honored to have you with us. And I'm going to hand the floor now to the Honorable Célia. Please go ahead.
Muito obrigada. Muito obrigada por esse momento. Estou aqui, as mulheres indígenas do Brasil, que não anda só. Estamos aqui em 30 mulheres do Brasil, da Delegação das Mulheres Indígenas do Brasil, Articulação Nacional das Mulheres Indígenas do Brasil, Guerreira da Ancestralidade.
Thank you very much. I'm here together with many other Indigenous women from Brazil. We don't walk alone. I'm here with many women leaders from the Alliance of Indigenous Women Warriors of Ancestrality, Amiga.
Agradecer o WECAN, estamos aqui, mulheres do Cerrado, sou do Cerrado, Mata Atlântica, Amazônia, Caatinga, Pampa e Pantanal.
Giving thanks to WECAN, and I'm here with a woman representing each one of the biomes from Brazil, Cerrado, Caatinga, Amazônia, Pantanal, the dry lands, the wetlands, the rainforest.
Quando falamos da destruição, temos que falar do combate ao racismo ambiental. O racismo ambiental tem cor, tem pele e tem gênero.
When we speak about destruction and deforestation, we need to speak also about environmental racism. The environmental racism categorizes, it has its own color, its gender, and its own agenda.
O racismo que demorou 200 anos para ter o primeiro Ministério dos Povos Indígenas presidido agora por uma mulher indígena.
Such racism has been the cause of us taking over 200 years to now have our first Indigenous representative as a woman, Indigenous woman in our government.
Não existe combate à violência ambiental sem combater a violência aos nossos corpos território.
There is no such thing as fighting environmental violence without fighting for the protection of our own bodies.
Estou olhando aqui para diversas mulheres que perderam um rio.
I am here representing the voice of many women who have lost themselves a river.
Você sabe o que é a dor de perder um rio para uma mulher?
Do you know what the pain of losing a river means to a woman?
Essa COP, o Congresso Nacional, precisa responsabilizar com os crimes de ecocídio.
Within this COP, our National Congress needs to become responsible for the eco-crimes that it has committed.
E por isso que o nosso partido entrou com um projeto de lei para tipificar o crime de ecocídio no Brasil.
And for this reason, our party within the Brazilian Congress has just engaged a new bill to categorize the crime of eco-crimes within our country.
Você sabe o que é deparar com o povo Cocama quando foi vítima também no período do Covid-19?
Do you know what it is to stand and face the Cocama people to the atrocities that they have been victim to during COVID times?
Você sabe o que é chegar semana passada do território Guarani Kaiowá, onde mulheres foram queimadas vivas?
Do you know what it is to land here from just a week ago, having stood on Guarani Kaiowá territory in which women have been burned alive?
Você sabe o que é chegar no território Yanomami e ver meninas também vítimas do estrupe causada pelo mercúrio, pela mineração e pelo garimpo?
Do you know what it's like to have to visit the Yanomami territory and witness also girls and young ladies having been victims of violence, of raping in their bodies?
Nós somos uma das mais afetadas, mas nós também somos solução.
We are one of the most affected people on this planet, but we are also the solution.
E por isso que estamos discutindo bioeconomia.
This is why we're here to discuss bioeconomy.
Para enfrentar a mineração também é mulheração.
So in order for us to stand against mining, we are also standing for the womanification.
E a terra é mulher.
And the earth itself is a woman.
O planeta é mulher.
The planet is a woman.
A Mata Atlântica é mulher.
The Atlantic rainforest is a woman.
A Amazônia é mulher.
The Amazon is a woman.
Todos os nossos biomas são mulheres.
All of our biomes are women.
Então a cura também se faz por nós.
And so the healing also takes place through us.
Não adianta discutir na agenda da COP.
It is pointless to be here speaking within COP28.
Se não assumirmos a responsabilidade do financiamento direto também de iniciativas que vai beneficiar as mulheres já fazendo bioeconomia nos nossos territórios.
If we are not taking into consideration the initiatives that are run by women and that are already performing such difference within our territories.
Estou aqui como parlamentar da bancada do COCAR, resultado da Articulação Nacional das Mulheres do Brasil.
I am here as a member of parliament representing the Feathered Headdress party that is standing as a resistance in the Brazilian Congress.
E viemos fazer um clamor. Não há possibilidade de barrar as mudanças climáticas.
And we are here to call that there is no way to stop the crisis of climate change.
Sem considerar os territórios como solução número 1.
Without considering our territories as the first and foremost solution for it.
Pela terra, pelas águas.
For the earth, for the waters.
Pela floresta de pé.
For the standing forest.
Não podemos derramar sangue indígena no chão.
We can no longer continue to drop indigenous blood upon the ground.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and for your powerful words. And we will now hand the floor to Fanny Castro. Fanny.
Bueno, muy buenas tardes. Muchísimas gracias por este espacio a WECAN y a todas nuestras hermanas que hoy nos acompañan y a los que nos acompañan. Hoy la Amazonía agoniza.
Bueno,
La Amazonía es una mujer.
buenas tardes, gracias a todos por estar aquí, gracias a WECAN por organizar este... Sorry. Good afternoon to everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for CAN for organizing this panel. Right now, the Amazon rainforest is a woman. The Amazon rainforest is dying.
Hoy el cambio climático y la naturaleza misma está matando la Amazonía.
Right now, climate change and la naturaleza,
Sí.
and nature itself is killing the Amazon rainforest.
Hoy nuestros ríos se han secado por el fenómeno de la niña.
Right now, our rivers are dry because of the El Niño phenomenon.
Niño. Nuestros ríos se han secado, nuestros animales están muriendo porque el agua del río Amazonas se ha calentado.
Our rivers are disappearing because the water of the Amazon river is warm.
Los que sufrimos las consecuencias de no solamente del fenómeno natural, sino de las acciones del extractivismo, del petróleo y de la minería ilegal en la Amazonía, somos los pueblos indígenas y especialmente las mujeres.
Those who suffer the consequences of the extraction industry that is undertaken by the fossil fuel companies are indigenous peoples and especially indigenous women.
La explotación de hidrocarburos y de la minería ilegal está contaminando los ríos que son fuente de alimentos para nosotros.
The exploitation and the extraction of fossil fuels from the Amazon rainforest is contaminating rivers that is a source of livelihood and food for us.
Las mujeres y las familias indígenas se están enfermando, las mujeres se están quedando estériles y aquí hay un exterminio silencioso de los pueblos indígenas.
This pollution is causing women to become sterile. The women are getting sick. There is an extermination. There is like a killing happening right here, which is like a silent killing.
Por eso es el momento de juntar esfuerzos y de juntar la ciencia occidental y los sistemas de conocimiento indígena para salvar la Amazonía.
That's why we have to join efforts, Western knowledge, Western science knowledge with indigenous Amazonic knowledge to save the Amazon rainforest.
Es el momento de escucharnos y de valorar el rol de las mujeres que son las primeras restauradoras, reforestadoras de la Amazonía.
We have to listen to each other and value the role that women play. They are the main regenerators, the main people who carry out the restoration of the Amazon rainforest.
Y no más asesinatos a nuestros defensores y defensoras de los territorios amazónicos.
We need to stop the killing of the people, our people who are defending the indigenous territories of the Amazon rainforest.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias. Thank you so much. And now I give the floor to Elaine Shawit.
Buenas tardes con todos y todas. En primer lugar, quiero manifestarles, traerles el saludo de las hermanas de la Amazonía peruana, de los pueblos indígenas, las hermanas de esta parte del país. Yo vengo de Perú. Pues acá vengo trayendo las voces de las hermanas que represento a esta región.
So Good afternoon, everybody. I want to bring the greetings from the sisters from the Peruvian Amazon. I am here representing these voices and these people.
Bien, quiero manifestarles de que en mi país la Amazonía está contaminada con derrames de hidrocarburos. Tenemos mujeres que sufren, que tienen metales pesados en la sangre y el Estado está totalmente en abandono a los pueblos indígenas. Más de 40 años de explotación petrolera en nuestros territorios.
Okay, listo. I'm here to tell you that the territories in the Peruvian Amazon are polluted. Women and people in our territories have heavy metals in their blood, and the government is not really doing anything to help us and to protect us.
Las mujeres día a día sufren por estos derrames porque ustedes sabrán algunos, las mujeres de la Amazonía, nosotros nos alimentamos de nuestros ríos, nuestras quebradas, nuestro bosque, y cuando nuestro territorio está contaminado, nuestros ríos estén contaminados, ¿de dónde nos alimentamos?
And I want you to know that when our rivers, we feed ourselves from the river, from the land, and when the rivers and the land are contaminated, are polluted, that is polluting the source of our food and our livelihood.
Y además tenemos un índice elevado de la desnutrición crónica por falta de alimentos. Cuando el pueblo sale levanta las voces, muchos de nosotros líderes y lideresas somos denunciados penalmente por las empresas extractivistas.
Gracias. A lot of people in our territories have suffered from malnourishment. They don't get enough nutrition now because of the pollution. And when when we try to raise our voices, we are persecuted by the fossil fuel industry. They sue us.
Nosotras las mujeres somos las transmisoras de los conocimientos a generación durante años. Gracias a eso también los pueblos indígenas hemos sobrevivido en la pandemia COVID-19 porque los pueblos indígenas no tenemos servicios básicos en nuestros territorios.
Okay, we, the indigenous women, are the ones who are transmitting knowledge and information from generation to generation. During the COVID crisis, we remain healthy because we don't benefit from any kind of basic public health services. So it is our own ancestral knowledge with plants that we protect ourselves, and we have been able to survive through crises like COVID and others.
Es por ello que no queremos, los pueblos indígenas nos hemos pronunciado, nosotras mujeres también de Perú, que no queremos más concesiones petroleras, más mineras, porque justamente atentan nuestra fuente de vida. El bosque, el territorio es nuestro supermercado para nosotros. Nosotros queremos vivir en una vida plena.
Okay, that is why we are asking that no more concessions are made for fossil fuel extraction or for mining, because it is attacking our source of livelihood. The forest for us is our supermarket, is the way we survive.
Para terminar, quiero manifestarles, mi presencia acá es no solamente traerles problema de mi país, sino también indicarles de que algunos aliados se sumen a esta lucha de las mujeres en defensa de los territorios y también en fortalecimiento a las mujeres en financiamiento climático, porque las mujeres somos los que cuidamos nuestro territorio, somos los que protegemos nuestro bosque.
Okay.
Y es por eso que nosotros estamos acá trayendo las voces, porque las mujeres somos que durante años sin tener título nuestros ancestros nos han dejado esta enseñanza de proteger nuestro territorio, y eso es lo que queremos dejar para nuestras futuras generaciones.
Okay, gracias. I am here not only to bring you and to tell you my problems and the issues that we're suffering in the Peruvian Amazon, but to also ask you to join us and be part of our defense of the territories, not only on the ground, not just on the ground, but also helping us advocate to get financing, direct financing, so we can take action and protect our territories.
Agradecer en mi idioma, gracias, queremos, nosotros en idioma quiero despedirles en el pueblo abajún, Tajimat Pujut, que es el buen vivir. Eso es lo que las mujeres queremos. Muchas gracias.
And she just said in her own indigenous language, well-being, buen vivir, well-being, and that is what they want, just to be in peace and have well-being. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for your important work and your leadership. And we only have a few moments left in these short press conferences, but I wanted to ask each of you, because you represent different regions of the Amazon, but collectively, as you say, you are all here for the same cause of lifting the voice of the women from the Amazon, and how important that is for us to hear your leadership, to understand your calls to action, and to know that you are the knowledge keepers of your territories and your communities. And in the few minutes that we have left, maybe we could hear from each of you, Célia, Fanny, and Elaine. What is the most important message that you want governments to understand about your presence here at the COP? What is the most important?
¿Cuál es el mensaje más importante que quieren que los gobiernos del mundo escuchen de ustedes al respecto de su presencia aquí en esta COP?
We can start with you, Célia. Thank you.
Enquanto mulheres presentes de vários biomas, enquanto parlamentar, não somente de um estado brasileiro, mas parlamentar do Brasil, esperamos que governos aqui presentes na COP,
As women representing not only the Amazon, but all the biomes within our country, as a member of the parliament representing not only a state within Brazil, but representing our country in itself, we come here to COP.
reconheço não somente a nossa presença na COP, mas também a nossa contribuição em cada painel que participamos, também no documento final.
We ask the leaders at COP to recognize not only our presence within COP28, but recognize as well as our demands and the things that we are requiring upon the negotiations that are taking place.
E que não jogue a solução para barrar a crise climática fora. Nós, povos indígenas, somos a solução.
And as a final outcome of COP28, that they do not disconsider that we are the solution to the climate crisis.
E que o compromisso de perdas e danos
and that their commitment to loss and damage
seja pensado em quantidade diferente, porque não existe reparação histórica também.
Must be thought of in a different way, considering that there is no such thing as real historical reparation.
Sem reconhecer os danos de várias mortes que foram causadas ao nosso território.
Without recognizing such damage as the many murders and losses of lives that have taken place within our territory, which cannot be quantified.
Nós, mulheres indígenas, somos a cura da terra.
We as indigenous women are the healing of the earth.
Thank you. Fanny, do you have a final word?
Bueno, sin los pueblos indígenas y sin las mujeres no hay Amazonía. Sin los conocimientos occidentales y sin los sistemas de conocimientos indígenas no se puede salvar la Amazonía. Es el momento de que los gobiernos cumplan lo que cada año en la conferencia de las partes se acuerdan.
Without indigenous women and without indigenous peoples, there is no Amazon rainforest. Without Western science and Asian indigenous science, there is no future and there is no way we can protect the Amazon rainforest. So we are asking governments from the world to follow through the commitments that they make every year.
Thank you.
Bien, estoy acá en la COP participando, trayendo las voces de las mujeres, es pedir que a todos los estados que tomen en cuenta la participación de la mujer y también sean reconocidos el papel fundamental que cumple una mujer y que la Amazonía representa a una mujer, como se lo dijo la hermana. Muchas gracias.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
So I want you to know that the Amazon rainforest is a woman, and we need to ask the governments of the world to help us protect the Amazon rainforest.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
One photo.
Una foto.
Here, let's go this.
Gracias.
Obrigada. Acá.
Hola.
Acá. No.